So if you watched my last video, you would know how passionate I am about the topic of cheaters. Now, I uploaded my last video with the hope that many people would agree with me on that, but the comments were filled with quite the opposite. I didn't think that when I recorded that, it was going to be that split of an opinion, as seen from the like versus dislike ratio. I still upload the video quite ticked off from my video being ruined too, so keep that in mind while watching this one, though I'm still not going to delete the old one. Now, with that all out of the way, let's talk about cheaters. Well, again. So I had some of my comments say that I was just plain mad and to cope. And to be honest, well, yeah, I am quite upset about it. Cheaters can ruin the game for not just me, but other people trying to play, and that also includes my YouTube videos if I'm trying to record something to put out for you guys. And if I'm a new player trying to learn the game or just trying to have fun and I have someone hitting me with some COD movement, then it's really demotivating to play. Feel free to still say I'm mad though, because I genuinely just don't care. One thing I did exaggerate about was the fact that they were in every other game I played. Now, I would say one in around 7 games I came across a cheater. Now, that doesn't sound as often as you might think, but I also play North America servers, which from experience, it's way worse in Asia. I'm praying for y'all. So, just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, I'd like to take the rest of this video kind of talking about some counterclaims to what I was said. So, this person's first claim, as you can see on the screen, is that hackers just want to relax and sit back and not have to try. If you want to relax, then why not play a different game? Stardew Valley is pretty popular and pretty relaxing at that, and if you don't want to spend money, just try playing some like cool math or something. I don't know, you get my point though. There's so many other games you could play rather than having to hack and want to relax. Now, hypothetically, let's say you don't give a flying fuck about anything I just said, and you still want to hack in the game. Why not just use clients in a world against your friends? That is, well, if you have any that cheat too. You don't have to try, and you can test out which client is best against like-minded people. The second claim provided is, if you think we are wasting our time, then what's your excuse for playing the game legit? How is that not wasting your time? Firstly, I'd just like to reply and say, yeah, if you play the game constantly and just no-life it, you're totally wasting your time. Unless you plan to make a career out of PvP, which is really hard to do, or like building or something like that, again, very hard to do, then you are probably wasting time and probably hurting your arm and wrist if you're jitter clicking for PvP. Now, if you're just playing to have fun with your friends, I'd argue that's different. You're getting social interaction, though it may not be in person. To double down on my original point though, yes, I still believe no matter what, if you are cheating, then you are wasting your time. Yes, when you cheat, it might be fun, but what do you really get out of it? You may get a slight serotonin boost, whether that just be from the cheats or the people getting mad, but how long does that last? In the long run, isn't it more fulfilling to play the game legit? It's a lot more satisfying to increase your skill over a long period of time rather than hitting kids with, again, the COD movement and getting burned out over it within a week. You can also just waste your time getting the account banned, which, in my opinion, why bother using the account in the first place? Though, from what I've recently learned, cheaters constantly have new accounts, so really that claim, it's hit or miss. The last point provided is one I already talked about in my last video, but I'll talk about it again anyway since I briefly touched upon it. This person claims the anti-cheat is good, which I'd agree for the most part, though it may allow for hackers to pass through quite often. The biggest Minecraft server, Hypixel, still has the same thing, so I can't get too upset about that. This person also talks about how there's a constant struggle between anti-cheat developers and the cheaters, which I touched upon briefly, again, in my last video. This is the case for pretty much any game. For example, I play Valorant and Fortnite as well. Cheaters in those games aren't as noticeable, but they aren't jumping around spinning in circles promoting their hacks, so I mean, you know, whatever. But the cheats are still game changers when you can see through walls or they can beam you from across the map. Cheat developers are always at a disadvantage in this situation as their anti-cheat gets developed and all of a sudden there's a new bypass. When I made my last video, must have been when this new client was first released because everyone in the game was promoting the same one. I also recently just got the chance to speak to a client dev who gave me the following info. So basically, the anti-cheat sucks. Hive has been trying to sort out the cheater mess to no success, and they have been struggling with the anti-cheat for years. They say, I've been in this community the whole duration of this. Even though the anti-cheat's gotten better, it's still kind of whack. The anti-cheat devs are so clueless, they make some checks crazy strict, like banning legit players for no reason, then after a week or whatever they flip it back and it's all useless again. This whole thing keeps happening on the regular, it's like an endless loop. If they never bother fixing the AC, anti-cheat, Most cheaters would have quit because there would be no thrill in bypassing it, but they stuck in the never-ending loop of trying to make it work. Although, there's not really a way to tell if this would have been true or not. So I reply and I say, so what I'm understanding is the anti-cheat devs mess with the anti-cheat so much that they can't fine-tune it correctly without allowing either loads of cheaters to join or banning a bunch of legit players, and it's just all over the place. Yes, this is exactly what happens. I don't know how many anti-cheat developers there are, but whoever's working on it can't develop proper checks, and instead what they do is make the cheats either super strict or super bad. I'd imagine that's even more confusing for them when a new cheat client comes out, since they have to try and fine-tune it for those bypasses too. Exactly. Another reason you're seeing more cheaters is because new clients are coming out. So do these clients get screwed over a bunch with how much the anti-cheat is messed with, or is it more like, oh, give it another week and it might be usable again? I mean, yeah, it fucks up both cheaters and legit players, since, as I showed, you would get a 7-day ban for bridging diagonally. Although cheaters aren't really as affected since we just make new accounts in under 20 seconds. For the most part, though, cheaters will just not go diagonally until the check is either reverted or bypassed. That does explain a lot, as I've seen a lot of cheaters just speed bridge normally and then hit people with the B hopping and reach towards mid. If they do a check like speed, this ends up happening, and here's a little video on screen. And it ends up showing that there's not even like a banned message. So he says that was actually an anti-cheat kick. They encrypt the message and make it look like any random error to make legits not actually think it was the anti-cheat falsing them, but on that clip he didn't get banned, but still shouldn't false the anti-cheat by, running. Here's another clip that he provided showing that it was like a month and a half old, but it still shows that like the anti-cheat still isn't the best. And then here's another one as well showing that like it's still kind of in a whack area. And he says that my point is they can't make proper checks, but instead either make them so strict that it false bans the legit players, or so bad that it doesn't affect the cheaters or legit players. I've said that 50-ish times, but that's really all there is to it. He also did state that the Hive did acknowledge their anti-cheat problems, and they've been working on it since 2021, but to be honest, they suck at making most of the checks, ends up banning or kicking the real players, which is not good, of course. They 100% gotta step up and make their checks not screw over the legit players, while still being effective against cheaters. In the Hive's defense, though, they definitely have the best anti-cheat for Bedrock Edition, but it's nowhere close to Java's anti-cheat. Which, in my last video, I was probably so worked up as I was so used to playing Java where cheaters aren't as often as I see them on Bedrock. But just because I've been playing Java so much, that gave me a new insight to see how many cheaters I actually do fight. So to sum everything up, what I've understood from talking to the client dev is the anti-cheat is changed all the time, unlike what I thought in my last video where I thought it wasn't updated like at all. The issue though, and the reason that kind of led me to believe what I originally thought, is that it changes the important aspects too much, causing legit players to be banned and cheaters to gain access and all that sort of stuff. They can't find the certain sweet spot yet, though it's massively improved since 2021, as he stated. He also wanted me to mention that not all cheaters cheat because they're bad, because he's seen that statement thrown around so much, and I even claimed the same thing in my last video. And he said some legit players actually might just get bored of playing legit and just go try out cheating, which don't do that. If you get bored, just play something else. Play like, I don't know, Fortnite or something. I don't know, shoot kids in the head. And, well, to conclude, cheating sucks. Don't do it. And if you disagree with anything I said in this video, feel free to debate me in the comments or really debate anyone else. Thanks to the people who provided something to the debate, like the client dev, the person who, provided 3 different reasons on why people cheat, some of that other stuff. To those who actually did provide something, though, I appreciate you being respectful and providing some, clear insight and counter arguments. Gave me another video, so I mean, that's cool. And this will probably be the last time I even really talk about it, so if I see any hackers in my new videos, I'll just try and ignore them, as it's not really worth my time to talk about it more than twice. And lastly, I'd like to say sorry to the Hive staff for being as harsh as I was, though it still feels like my reports are never seen by anyone, and I never see oh yeah, your report was filed and cheater has been banned, good job. I respect that you actually do work on your anti-cheat, whether, mess it up or actually improve it. I respect you do work on it. You're doing something, and I respect that. And as I'm recording this, the next day I actually, played after my last video, there wasn't as many, cheaters. So it's certain that people actually saw that and they worked on their anti-cheat almost immediately. So I respect that. Alright, so it's been a bit since I've recorded all of this, and I just kind of wanted to go back and read some comments that were left on my last video. Some of them mention, like, actually, like, a good few of them mention stuff like, oh yeah, the Hive is running, like, a different anti-cheat type of system than Java does, which I didn't know that, and if you go check through some of the comments, then you would see that I replied to one and said, hey, thanks, I didn't know this. And, another one I'd like to talk about is honestly probably the most respectful counter argument comment that I've gotten so far, so thank you for that. So the comment states, why is cheating fun? Do you understand that fun is your own choice? If you find it more fun than playing legit, that's your way of having fun. Some people do different things than others, some people play other games, and we can't just question why we find it so much more fun than playing Minecraft every time. Logic aside, bypassing the anti-cheat is a lot of fun to do, that's why you see so many cheaters. It takes a lot of effort to bypass an anti-cheat, even if you're just an individual using a client and a config. Can't talk today. Because you have to understand your limitations and what cheats you can and cannot use. Also, my advice would be trying to play on a different region, like EU, or a different game mode, like trios, if we're bothering you. Don't see why so many people can't come up with their own solutions to avoid us, so they just choose to put up with us. If they are better at Minecraft than cheaters, then they should know what to do when they encounter one. So, I read this comment, and I was like, wow, this is... They bring up some points that I hadn't discussed, right? Because my last video, as I stated at the beginning, was just full of emotion. And I wanted to come up with a video that was more logically, like, approached, because that's how I usually look at things. I never look at things emotionally, except for now. But let's break down this comment. So, why is cheating fun? So, they go on to explain that cheating is like, or well, not cheating, but fun is like subjective. And, you know, everything, you know, people do, they may find fun, other people may find it not fun, whatever. And I can agree with that part. That part, you've got me there. If you find it fun, then, you know, whatever. But it also counters itself by really saying something like, the comment, I mean, it counters itself by saying, try playing on a different region or playing a different game mode. Well, hypothetically, let's say playing a different region like EU, I don't find fun because I lag, because let's say I have shit internet or something. Or trios, let's say I don't want to play trios because it's just full of like e-daters plus the third wheel. And you know, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm just playing solos because I find it more enjoyable to just play on my own. That's countering my fun. And I feel like, let's say you were to cheat, wouldn't it be more fun to cheat against, you know, trios and squads? You know, like, is it more fun to cheat against a single person and just wipe the lobby like that, or is it more fun to cheat against multiple people at once? Do you get what I'm trying to say here? It feels like you're not looking at it, I guess, as logically, but you're still looking at it logically, which I respect that. 100% respect it. You also go on to say that if they're better at Minecraft than cheaters, then they should know what to do when they encounter one. Well, most of the time, you're not going to be better than a cheater. You may think you are, and you may have the giant, like, ego that some Minecraft e-boy or e-girl thinks they have, but more than likely, you're not better than a cheater. Unless you have studied the art of PvP every single day of your life, you are not going to be better. Most of the time, you just get lucky and you kill one. Other times, you kind of just get lucky and... you know, other people have done most of the damage, and you just tap them once and poof, they're dead. But, you know, it kind of just, it doesn't make a lot of sense to say someone is better than a cheater, because most of the time you won't be. In fact, a good 90, I would say 90% of the time you aren't better. I think I've only killed like 2-3 cheaters in my entire time playing the Hive since like 2021. So, yeah. But you said another comment saying most hackers will get kicked. Indeed, that's because the anti-cheat isn't actually that bad. So most cheaters can be detected, believe it or not. Most of the time they actually are, but silently, some of the checks that Hive's anti-cheat have, excuse me, sorry, aren't so strict that it won't kick you, but it's detecting you in the background. The reason they get kicked when they get reported is because when a staff member sees the report, their log is already enough evidence, especially if they're flagging someone like breakspeed. The majority of hack clients flag this due to regen, which automatically mines redstone for the people who don't know. So this was like really good info to know, because I saw these comments after I recorded this video and talked to a client developer, which I learned more about, like, oh yeah, it's like, boom, they don't get, kicked instantly, and they're not going to. There's also another comment on here, not by the same person, saying like, oh yeah, you can't patch it so easily, the Hive can't do that. And if you watched my last video, you would know I touched upon that, so go rewatch it again if that's you. I just wanted to say that I did mention like some logical stuff, but it was filled with emotion just because, like I said, my video was ruined prior to this. So I just wanted to kind of talk about this stuff because, again, thank you to the person who left these comments, for being respectful about it and not just saying, "Ha, fuck you, you're mad." Cope, stay mad. L ratio, get fucked. It actually means a lot that someone was willing to debate like civilly and not just state things like, "Oh yeah, you're trash. You're sweating in a block game, raging over the fact you can't either requeue or just slash hub." You wouldn't believe it to the person who says that, but sometimes videos actually do get shit across. So yeah, stay mad, buddy. I'm gonna make whatever videos I want. Cope. Last thing I want to cover in this little like not pre-recorded segment is just kind of talking about like, some people are saying the cheat is easy to get through, and other people are saying, well, some people are saying it's bad, some people are saying it's good. Like the client dev I talked to, he said it was bad. Other people said it was good. I think it really just kind of depends on the day after talking to the client dev. Just because like, they probably have like a fairly good idea what's going on. Again, I don't mess with hack clients or anything like that, so I'm not going to know this stuff. And I'm not like a staff member of the Hive or whatever, so I don't know about the anti-cheat. But after talking to him about it, it makes sense that it would be like good some days, bad other days. So really, I guess the logical conclusion here is that until the Hive finds its sweet spot for the anti-cheat, it's going to be kind of, I guess, trash. So I just wanted to clear all this stuff up, and yeah, thanks for watching the video and all that. Means a lot. Back to the rest of it. And finally, thank you for watching till the end of the video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and again, if you'd like to debate me in the comments, feel free to do so. Like and subscribe if you want to see more topics similar to this covered, but not quite cheaters, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm totally done with this shit. Thank you, and have a great day.